Hi, how are you? So I decided to release my mods folder because I've actually had a couple people ask about it for whatever reason. I guess people want it. I don't know. It's pretty neat. It's got some mods that like a lot of other people don't have. So there's a few unique ones in here. In the description you'll find direct downloads to all of them, as well as just the entire pack if you want to download it all at once. But there will be downloads from the creators' websites and whatever, so you can go give them some support as well. But yeah, without any further ado, let's just hop right into it. I guess I'm just going to go off the list that is listed here. So the first one is the Glint Colorizer mod. This one's by Pwn. And what you need to do this is you need to type in /Glint Colorizer, and then you can change the color of the glint on any enchanted items. So for example, this nether star, you can see it's enchanted, which means that I have it set to red, as you can see, but to any color really. If I wanted it to be blue, then now it's blue. You can't really tell with that color. Green, now it's green. You can even set it to chroma if you wanted to do that, because chroma's pretty nifty, you gotta say. Look at it, like a rainbow. So the next mod we have is Perspective Mod 3.0, and this one, basically what it does is it lets you go into like the cheap breaker version of F5, if you guys know what that is. So you can set it to, you can bind it to any button, and then you will be able to go in a version that's like F5, but you can like spin your mouse around and look wherever you want to go without moving your head. It's pretty neat, and you can actually toggle it in the controls. You can change what key you want, and also if you want it to be held or pressed, you can do that as well. Next up we have the Chroma Particles mod, and this one it just changes all the particles to be chroma. As you can see here, this is all like smoke and stuff that would normally just be gray, but up here as well you can see it's all chroma, and you can actually change the speed of it as well by doing /Chroma Particles like this, and then you can set it to 1000, which is the fastest, or 0, which just sets it to off basically, or oh wait, I'm dumb. This is the slowest it can be, 1000, and then the further left you put it, the faster it is, and then all the way left is just off. So personally, I like to have it pretty slow, so it's not too like epileptic or anything. But that's just me personally. Of course, you guys can like play around with whatever you want. The next one is MouseDelayFix. I don't really know how to explain this one other than in 1.8, which is the version that this mod pack is for, by the way. There's like a bug where your mouse kind of like desyncs a little bit, you can turn your mouse and it doesn't instantly register. So this basically fixes that, so you have like, it's just a faster reaction in between your mouse and actually moving your character around. There's other videos if you want to go more into depth on any of these, then I'd recommend just searching it up separately so you can get all the info that you would need on any of these. The next one is the old animations mod, and this brings back all the old 1.7 animations into the game. If you guys don't know what that looks like, then you're missing out, B. Let me tell you, because if you just press escape, then it'll bring up this button up here, and you can change all of these settings. There's a ton. I'm not going to go through all of them right now, but the main ones that you'd want is 1.7 eat, and just like block hitting and stuff like that, and bow rod especially. This basically just make it so like it's more of an aesthetic thing, so it makes rods like smaller, and then food you can like punch while eating. It doesn't actually hit anything, it's just on your screen, so don't worry, you won't get like kicked for hacking or anything. So yeah, this again, if you want to know like more detail, then just search it up separately. The next one is OpenEye. This one's just kind of it doesn't change anything in game. It's basically if your game ever crashes, then this like records the info and automatically sends it to their server. And if it recognizes something in there with the other info that it's gathered, like it can tell you the fix, or like how to fix what's crashing your game. It doesn't always work, but it does work sometimes, and when it does, that's pretty nifty, because then you know what to fix in your game. The next one is Chat Toggler, and the command for this is just /tc, and basically you can set it so like your separate chats are on or off. So if I set it to /tc all, then like all the chat would be hidden, or public chat that is, and any PMs or party chat would still be going on. And you can change it for guild party, you can have everything off if you wanted to. So yeah, that's just super useful if you're getting a ton of spam in like your PMs or something, or you're just streaming and you want the chat off or anything like that. It's just super useful for less clutter on the screen. The next one's bspkrscore. I don't really know exactly what it does, but I do know that some of the other mods in this pack do need it, so I just recommend getting it if your game is crashing after like downloading some of these mods. The reason would probably be because you don't have bspkrscore. The next mod we have is ping tag, and this basically shows the ping above other people's heads. So if we just turn players back on, then as you can see, it shows the ping of the player above their head, and the color changes as well based on how good their ping is. So this guy has 71 ms, which is pretty good, so it's a light green. If you go over here, you can see this guy's really deep green because he's just better, and then people with worse ping will have red above their head. So it's just like a cool little thing, so you kind of like know if you're fighting someone who's like super laggy, you can kind of avoid them if you want, or just make sure that you know it's not you that's lagging, it's them. The next mod we have is the Sidebard Mod Revamp, and you just do /sidebar mod, if I can swipe, and then you can turn your sidebar on and off. That's this thing on the right. You can turn the red numbers on and off. Personally, I like to keep it off just because it looks a lot cleaner without them. But keep in mind that some servers do actually use the red numbers for like points and stuff, so it's up to you whether you want that on or off. You can also enable or disable the shadow on the text and change the background color, anything you could ever want. Personally, I just keep it pretty much on the default with the numbers off, and you can move it. Yeah, there's that. Reset. The next one is the combo display mod, and as you can see in the bottom right there, oh well, it disappears when you open chat, but it says combo 0, and basically it's just something cool you can have. It's kind of like keystrokes, although I personally don't use keystrokes because I don't like it. But if you're hitting someone in a game or like in a duel, the more you hit them without them hitting you, then obviously it'll count the number, so it'll tell you how big your combo is, and it will stop or reset down to 0 if you get hit or if you don't hit them within a certain period of time. The next one's reach display mod, and like it says here, it just displays the distance between your hits and the person you're hitting to prove that you're not cheating. So as you can see, if I'm clicking from here, you can see in the bottom right it says I'm 1.91 blocks away from him, and then obviously the furthest you would be able to go without hacking is up to and including, I think it's 3 blocks. I don't know, lobbies are kind of glitchy, so you might not be able to get the full range, but yeah, it's pretty neat, I guess. Oh hey, there's Dalton. The next mod we have is AutoGG, and basically what this one does is after you win or lose any game, and once the game is over, it will automatically say GG in the chat for you, which basically gives you karma, which admittedly isn't really used for anything right now, but they look at it for staff applications and stuff like that, and I'm pretty sure they're planning to do something with it in the future. So it basically just saves you the hassle of typing out GG every time if you want to. Easy free karma. The next one is Autotip. This one is similar to AutoGG, except it just basically always runs /tip all in the background, and if you don't know what that does, it tips everyone who is currently hosting a booster, and it doesn't cost you anything, but it does give you experience and coins. So if you do /AT stats, then you can see since a little bit ago, I think that's broken. But yeah, you can toggle it on or off. You can change whether or not the messages show. Personally, I like to keep it hidden or compact, and yeah, it'll just get you a ton of free coins and XP, so you can just AFK in like limbo forever and constantly be tipping, and then you come back the next day and maybe you'll have leveled up. I don't know, who knows, not me, that's for sure. The next one is the Better Foliage mod, and I'm pretty sure the default key for this is F8. Yeah, that's right. And basically what this does, I'm sure you've noticed, is like it makes the leaves leafier, I guess, and there's also falling leaves, and by default it has round logs on. I turned that off, and just better grass, and it just has a ton of cool features. Honestly, it's a really cool mod. The only thing that doesn't work, I think, it's the better cactus. It just makes it black for some reason, so I just turned that off if I were you. So the next mod we have is the ding mod, and what this mod does is basically when you start up your game and it's finished loading all the stuff, it plays a ding sound, like the EXP kind of ding. I don't know, it's probably a bad representation. But yeah, if you have a slow computer, or if you usually tab out and like watch something while you're loading up, then this way it'll let you know like when the game is ready to go. The next mod we have is FPS Reducer, and basically if you go into the mods options and then hit config, it'll give you all these options. So what this does is basically if you AFK for over 5 minutes, you can set it to cap your FPS. and if you tab off, then you can get it to again cap your FPS and just basically reduce the usage of your game on your computer. And you can also suppress sound and volume when it registers that you're AFK. So it's just again like a super useful thing to have if you go AFK or whatever, or if you just have it in Minecraft open in the background, this way it won't take up so much of your performance. The next mod we have is Hypixel Tools mod. Basically what this mod does is it just adds like a ton of useful Hypixel tools. So like this includes like commands and anything, aliases, shorter commands, useful commands, just anything really that you could ever want. This mod probably has it. Again, like always, there's like a direct link in the description, so if you want to check out every possible use that it has, because there's way more than what I'm listing, then go check it out. The next mod we have is Memory Fix. If you guys use Forge or OptiFine, this is a big one. OptiFine 1.8, there's actually a bug in which like there's memory leaks or something. So basically your memory up here will fill up rather fast, and once that starts getting high, then you'll get huge lag spikes. I know that used to be a huge problem for me, and this mod fixes that. Useful to have because obviously you won't have to restart your game so often. And yeah, just a warning though, I'm pretty sure if you try to play in 1.7 and you have this mod loaded, then it'll just not work. So you'll have to take the mod out of your mods folder completely if you want to play 1.7. The next mod is the OOF mod by Refraction, the YouTuber. He's got like 50k. I'll leave his channel link in the description. And basically what this mod does is every time you get a kill in, I think it just works for Skywars and Bed Wars, it plays the OOF sound effect, or the Roblox death sound. Yeah, it's pretty sick, honestly. Don't know why you wouldn't want it. It's just top tier memery. The next one is Orange's SimpleMods, and the command for there's two commands. The first one is simple config, so you can configure everything. There's a ton of options like status HUD, armor HUD, direction HUD, etc, etc. And of course it's all customizable, so you can turn it on or off and you can move it around. And of course toggle sprint, this is the biggest feature of this mod. It has toggle sprint built in, and you can change the text. Like I have it all colored down there, black and gray, to kind of match my skin. And then if you want to move stuff around, I believe the command is /simple HUD, and then it'll let you move all the elements around. So that and that. I'm not going to touch it, but you know, if you want to. The next mod we have is the More Particles mod, or just the Particles mod. And what this does is when you are punching or creating someone out, there's just the regular amount of particles. But if you wanted more, then the default is right shift, and you can change like how many particles. So if you wanted to, you could have a lot. Normally, if particles are like really small in a pack, I like to set mine to 2 or 3. This pack in particular, the particles are really big, so I wouldn't really do that. But if you wanted to, you could go really high. It starts getting a little laggy if you go too high. Oh, or not. But yeah, if you wanted to do that, you could. Looks really cool with the Chroma Particles as well. The next mod we have is Player Profile. Yeah, you just have to go and shift right click on any player in Hypixel, and it'll view their profile, so you can see their social media, visit their house, you can invite them to a party, add them as a friend, report them, all that good stuff. Really simply just shift right click in any lobby on Hypixel. The next mod we have is ProjectL, and it's very similar to the MouseDelayFix mod from earlier. It basically does the same thing. This one, it says it improves head positioning immediately instead of the delayed in 1.8. It's a different thing a little bit, but I don't know. Personally, I don't understand it completely, but as always, there's the URLs if you want to go into better detail. The next mod we have is QuickSW, and this one, all you have to do is press T, and then all the modes will be there for Skywars. This version is a little out of date, so it doesn't include laboratory modes. But you can jump directly into mega, teams, solo, ranked, etc. from any lobby or any game, so you don't have to come to the lobby and right click and go through all that. The next mod we have is actually ReAuth, and what this mod does is it tells you if you're online and connected. For example, when you try to join a server and it'll say invalid session, this basically fixes that. So if you get that message where it says invalid session, that's really annoying because you basically have to restart your game. But if you have this mod, then you can just hit re-login, and you can input your email and password, and you can save your password if you want, and then you can log back in so you don't have to restart your game, and it works completely fine. And yeah, it's just super useful to have, especially if you have a slow computer or just use a lot of mods like I do. So the next mod is the Super Secret Settings Fix mod, and basically what this mod does is if you go into your options and then turn on super secret settings, there's a glitch where if you go into F5, it turns it off. This fixes that. that's it. The next one we have is the TimeChanger mod. So what this does is you can either set it on your point of view to nighttime. Obviously this won't affect the server time, so everyone else still sees it normally. You can make it nighttime if you want to see the moon or just the night sky in some packs is very nice compared to the day. You can set it to daytime. You can set it to sunset, so if you want to catch that beautiful sunset over there, then you can do that. And you can do fast time and then the time multiplier. Personally, I like to put it on 0.2 because that's a nice slow time. I spelled it wrong. Make sure you spell it right. Personally, I like it on 0.2 because especially with some skies, not this one, but a lot of skies, it'll just look really nice. Set it to anything too high, it's just kind of epileptic, but I'd recommend a nice 0.2 if you like having that on. The next mod we have is vanilla enhancements, and this one is /en for enhancements, I guess, config. And this one has a whole whack of stuff. I'm not going to go through everything, but you can have blood particles when you're clicking on an enemy, and you can make it play a sound when you're clicking on an enemy. Rendered hitboxes differently. You can check other people's names, so for example, XXGamerFall, you can see if they've had any previous names. It fixes lag in the screenshot, and there's just honestly so many more features. I'd really recommend this one of all the mods. This is probably my favorite. The next mod we have is OptiFine. I'm not gonna go over it in too much detail. You guys already all know what it is. It basically just improves FPS by a ton, and it also lets you zoom, and you can have capes, OptiFine capes. By far the biggest used mod in like all of Minecraft. I think the last one we have is 5zig. Now this is how I have the speed, or like the potion effects and the kind of coordinates and HUD in the top left. And for this one, you just go in the 5zig mod, and there is just so much stuff. Apparently you can have plugins, I didn't even know that, but yeah, you can customize how it all looks. You can have your items show up in your hotbar, you can have your CPS show up, like I'd have it there. All your chords, your anything. It has presets for different servers if you want to have that on. If you're connected to TeamSpeak, then I have it set to show up like that. There's just so much cool stuff you can do with this, and you can have friends. You can like add friends and message them if you want to do that. I don't know, kind of fun times. For some reason they're all Steves. Normally it would show their head, but I don't really know. So yeah, I do believe that is all the mods that I am currently using. I'll try to have them as up to date as possible in the description, but just remember that if you download the whole pack instead of them individually, then they might be out of date depending on how far into the future you're watching this, so just be on the lookout for that. And yeah, as mentioned at the start, these mods are used at your own risk on Hypixel and other servers, which basically means while they're not specifically allowed, they are not blacklisted in any way, shape, or form. There should be no problems with any of these. And of course, if there is, then I take no responsibility, but I've used these mods for a long time, and I've never had any problems with them, and a lot of other people all use these mods as well, and I haven't heard of many people who've had problems, so I think you should be pretty safe to go. But yeah, thanks again for 300, I guess. I don't know. I'm bad at outros and intros, and oh man, there goes a face. Alright, see ya, thanks.